Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody on board this afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon's session for the Global Entrepreneurial Week, the Steelpan business. We're talking Steelpan and we're talking exporting of the Steelpan. This evening's session, and waiting to assist you. So that being said, we're going to get right into it, and we're going to start us off with a presentation by one of our business advisors in the training department. We have a number of departments in ExporTT to assist you. Training is just one of them. So with no further ado, I'm going to transition now to Tanika Phillips, and she is going to give you her presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Tanika Phillips, training officer in the training unit. Training is not an end in itself, but is a required ingredient to ensure competency is built to achieve our goal of developing a sustainable and diversified export sector for Trinidad and Tobago. At ExporTT's training unit, we strive to build human capabilities so that exporters can smoothly transition from manufacturer to exporter, sharpen export agility, or confidently access new markets. Whether it's guiding new exporters or updating existing exporters, all our initiatives are designed to equip exporters with the skills to win new business in international markets and or generate export leads. Our promise to you is that we will be attentive and proactive in meeting your training need. We provide experienced facilitators, up-to-date content, opportunities for knowledge transfer through the hands-on workshops, and feedback that can assist with continuous improvement. Through a delicate process of conferring with clients, our operational units, and unit research, the training unit develops a suite of public enrollment training programs. Sample programs offered are showcased in this slide. As you can see, we have generic sessions such as proposal writing. We do business-related sessions such as IP and patent mining, and also food safety-related sessions, and that will be the food additives and the risk assessment training. We also offer you the flexibility and convenience of having in-company training for selected workshops. Thank you. At this time, our information is there. So the training unit is headed by the manager, a senior officer, and myself. My email is there, number is there, so feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tanika. And as you can see, that's just one of the areas that we cover here at ExporTT. We also have another department, our research and development department, where you can get other information. But let's just go into the presentation now. I see we don't have too many people online, but we do have a chat facility. And you guys are at an advantage. You can see my picture there. You'll see me at the end when we do the Q&A. But I don't know who you are. I don't know who is on. So if you want to just, introduce yourself in the chat area so we can get to know each other and have a conversation, because that's what this is about. This is not about me telling you how to export, what to export, and where to export. But first, having our conversation, starting the process to understanding what is required in order for development to take place, in order for diversification to take place. All those nice watchwords that we continuously use, that's what we want to encourage here today. So, well, you see my little pictures up. They were supposed to slide in, but there they are. And this is what we know our pan to be, right? It's an instrument that's there at carnival time, and we have the woman on the bass, we have the man on the pan, And of course, understanding that the instrument is a musical instrument. It's not just for carnival time, but it can be on any stage, accompanying anybody and putting anything in perspective. So, are you ready to export? In the first place, you need to understand what is it that you want to export. What is the product that you're exporting? Are we talking about the final product, that final pan that has been tuned and made into an instrument? Or are we looking at the type of merchandising that can come along out of the product? Remember, when you're thinking about a product, you kind of have to remember there's a story behind every product. And our pan is full of stories. And some of them maybe not so good, but their stories all the same. And those stories are what made us who we are, and is what has our product, our pan, on the international stage where it is. So you have to decide, as the entrepreneur, as the manufacturer, what is it that you want to export, and how you're going to go into that exportation. Now, when we talk management, we're talking about the people involved, the persons involved in actually manufacturing and developing the product. Are you guys on board? Do you have 100% buy-in from all of those who are the decision makers in your organization? Because that's a very, very important aspect. Now, understand, I am not going to go into the details of all of these things here now, because again, I don't know who my audience is, and I'm not sure what level you guys are at. But these are some of the overall ideas that you need to keep in mind when deciding if you want to export, where you want to export to, how you want to export. All right. Do you have the resources in place, the financial resources, the human resources that are required to manufacture your product, and to devote the time that is required to getting your product developed and exported? And then I talked about our market research unit. Market research sometimes can be overlooked because we think, hey, I have a product and there's a country that wants to buy it, so I want to export my product to that country. But there's a lot more involved before making that final decision. And our market research department is here to assist you in that regard. We can guide you towards that. We can't tell you where to export to, and we cannot tell you where not to export to. But what we can do is give you the information that will guide you towards making the best possible decision, right? Now, part of making that decision is ensuring that you have a plan. Do you have a plan in place to take you to the next step, to take you to where you need to be? Now, you see I have export plan here. So you think, okay, all right, I need to do an export plan. No, you need to do a business plan before you do an export plan. And I think that's going to be covered on Friday, I believe it is, right? But what is, just the word plan is supposed to tell you that there's supposed to be a structure in place, and there are certain things that have to be included in that plan to ensure that you are able to achieve your end goals. And of course, I know marketing would have been covered Monday, I believe it was. How are you going to market your product? Where are you going to market your product? We live in an age now where we're doing things a little bit differently. We're doing things a lot differently, actually. We use the word pivot, and we use it all the time because basically that's what we've had to do. We've had to make changes. We've had to stop doing things the way we are accustomed doing it and do it differently. So now we're in the age of digital technology and digital marketing. So we now need, as entrepreneurs, to look at how we're going to market our product. How are we going to get the information out there? How are we going to get people to hear the stories that we have about our pan and where it fits into our culture, and how them having access to this product is going to make them better people and make the whole world a wonderful, better place. We all have to work together with this. It's not going to work in silos. It's not going to be, okay, we're going to be marketing pan. Pan is a part, like I said, of our culture, of our people, of our country. So it has to be a holistic marketing thrust, a branding of our country, including pan, in everything that we do, in everything that we export, in everything that as we talk, you must hear, you hear about a Trini abroad. As soon as you hear about Trini, you're supposed to know about pan as well. But that in itself takes effort. Now, when we talk about exports, we need to understand who our competitors are as well. And this is just a brief overview of some of the countries, some of the top countries that also export. Now they export, these figures represent percussion instruments, which includes pan, right? So you're looking at China, US, Germany, Canada, and that's in the millions. That is in the millions of how of the exports that they do for percussion instruments. Trinidad and Tobago, 190,000 US. Now, what that tells us is that we cannot compete on the mass marketing scale. We have a niche product. We have a unique product that we need to now develop and massage and build into our DNA. That once anything that is exported from here, that forms part of it. Because we cannot compete with the $127 million. But we can ensure that the little piece that we have takes us into an arena that speaks positivity, that speaks uniqueness, that speaks value, and that speaks Trini. These are some countries that import these percussion instruments and the value that they import at. You're looking at US, Germany, UK, China. Now, the reason why I put up this particular slide is so that people can understand, okay, so we want to export. Who are we going to export to? Right? Now, you see who those countries are, right? Now, we haven't done the proper research. We haven't sent out the survey. We haven't done the questionnaire to find out from people where you want to export. But we do have some information because the Ministry of Trade has a grant facility. And one of the questions that is asked on that application is your markets of interest. These are the countries that have been identified as markets of interest for export. Australia, Chile, France, UK, US, Canada, Japan, China, Germany. And that's fantastic. And this is where we are now in the conversation. This is where we now have to communicate with each other. Because we at ExporTT and MusicTT and CreativeTT and all the TTs now have to understand, okay, how are we going to find out what these countries need where our pan is concerned, where our instrument is concerned? Do they want the physical pan? Do they want the exceptional tuners that we have here in Trinidad and Tobago? Do they want the merchandising products that come along with it? What is it that they want? And how can we now get the product to them? Now, you know, I am passionate about our culture and who we are and what we can do with what we have. And we at ExporTT have done missions that work, right? Market missions, we go into a country and we do the market research prior. And once we identify a market of interest and a market that is sustainable, we can set up business-to-business meetings with the buyers and the suppliers and get that conversation going and get that business going. And I think that's where we are right now. I think that's where we are now in this time. We need to sit down and seriously, very, very seriously, put a proper plan in place so that the product we have, we're not just selling it willy-nilly, vai to whoever will buy, but we ensure that who we sell it to, one is who needs it, and what we're selling them is exactly what they need. So let's just say in a perfect world, we've put all of this together. We've done the market research. We know exactly who wants our product, and we're ready to export. How does ExporTT further assist? And this is where I'm going to introduce another of our business advisors, Mr. Jonathan. Okay, he's here doing all kind of fancy thing here to make me laugh. Jonathan Cicheran from our capacity unit, who is going to go through with us now some of the funding opportunities that are available to get the finished product, which we just went through and we have ready to export, into the export markets. Jonathan.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Jonathan Cicheran from the Capacity Building Unit. I'm here to share with you some funding opportunities. As Ms. Redman would have indicated, after you've gone through all the market research, how can ExporTT help to now get your products abroad? As you can see here, there are three primary funding facilities, namely the co-financing funding facility, the grant fund facility, and the research and development facility. There's also one other facility that would be of particular interest to all those involved in the pan industry. But before we get to that, I'll just like to quickly run through these three primary funding facilities. I'd like to start with the co-financing facility. The co-financing facility is really to help get companies' products into the export market. Companies are awarded funding based on the categories that they fall under, whether they are small, medium, or large companies. Small companies receive upwards of $35,000 in support. Medium companies, small companies defined as companies generating less than $8 million in annual revenue. Medium companies, those generating between $8 and $15 million in revenue, will receive funding upwards of $45,000, and large companies will, as defined as receiving or earning more than $15 million in revenue, can receive up to $60,000 in financial support. Some of the areas under the co-financing facility that are covered include trade show participation, product testing, shipping of samples, and much more. Sorry. The next one I'd like to talk about is the grant fund facility. This grant fund facility is very important, and I think it would be welcome to many of you, in that the grant fund facility is a facility designed to help with the purchase or acquisition of equipment. This grant fund facility, you can access up to $250,000 towards the purchase of equipment. It is paid 50% up to a limit of $250,000, and it is paid directly to your supplier. I'd like to briefly move on to the research and development facility now. The research and development facility is designed to foster innovation in business. The research and development facility or fund, it is administered in three phases. Phase one has to do with companies wanting to determine the technical merit or feasibility of a project. Phase two would be projects that engage in new product development or process innovation, and phase three are for projects that are directed for commercialization purposes. Each of the phases have different funding thresholds. Phase one is a 70% support up to $100,000. Phase 2, 50% support up to a limit of $750,000. And phase 3 is a limit of $150,000. Now, I would like to move on to what I believe, to a facility that I believe would be extremely important to you all in the pan industry. And that is the Steelpan Manufacturing Grant. The Steelpan Manufacturing Grant is geared towards steelpan manufacturers and tuners and was established in January 2020. Similarly to the grant fund facility, it is for the purchase or acquisition of new machinery, equipment, software, tools, raw materials by local steelpan manufacturers. Now, there's a maximum amount per entity, a maximum amount of $1 million per entity, but this is disbursed in tranches of $250,000. This is administered through the MIC, and the applications is administered through the MIC. So companies can be awarded, and this is full funding. So, for example, if you have equipment purchases costing, let's say, $500,000, how it works is that you will get funding for the $500,000, but it will be paid in tranches of $250,000. So it will be paid, disbursed $250,000 as one tranche, $250,000 as another, until it is paid. Right? So that is just my contribution on how ExporTT can help in terms of financial support to the steelpan manufacturing sectors.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Now, one of the things that you guys need to understand, and again, I'm not sure who my audience is, but these grants that we're talking about, you need to be registered. You need to have a registered business, even if it's as a sole trader, because you need to show financials. You need to show is it 1 year, Jonathan, for the
co-financing?
For the co-financing, it's 1 year. For the other grants, it's 2 years. So now is the time to start putting things in place if you don't already have things in place. Now, this Steelpan Manufacturers Grant, I mean, it's an amazing opportunity, and it's been in existence, as you see, since January 2020. So far, it's been accessed by 3 entities, and we're looking at about a 1.7 in disbursements. So it's happening. It's there. It's there for you guys to access, but you can't access it if you don't have things in place. If you haven't put things in place to ensure that you can take advantage of these opportunities when they arise, right? Now, and a lot of times people say, well, I can't access this because it's too much work, or it's too much paperwork, but that's what we're here for. That's what we at ExporTT are here for, is to assist you with, at least to guide you in the direction to get the correct information. All right. So one final thing that I want to talk about before we close is sheet reads. Now, this is a project that's near and dear to my heart. The Sheet Trades program is run by the International Trade Center, the ITC, and it's a worldwide project. And basically, it focuses on women-owned, women-led businesses to network and to connect everybody together. And not just to connect them together, but as it says there, it's a unique platform, right? That helps you to sell your products and services from women-owned businesses, right? Now they've partnered with Trinidad and Tobago to launch the local branch of Sheet Trades. This was launched, I think, middle of October or something like that. And what we need from you women-owned businesses right now is to go on to the Sheet Trades website and register yourself. register yourself and complete the survey. There's a survey on there, and the importance of that survey, right, is to allow the administrators to understand what is needed and what is required by these businesses, because the results of that survey is what is going to inform what the interventions are going to be, right? So we need you all to go on and to check sheet trades and see what is offered and how you can benefit from it. Now I'm looking at the chat here, and Claudine wants to know, how long does the approval process take for the Steelpan manufacturing grant? Jonathan.
Hi. In terms of the approval time, there isn't any standard approval time. What the process entails is that you submit your application form along with the necessary documentation. An evaluating team will evaluate and conduct a site visit, make an assessment, and then make a recommendation whether or not a client, a business should get the grant or not. There isn't a specific time. Generally, it takes a few months. That is on average, so a couple months. But it depends. There's a widespread.
So basically, once you have your documentation in place, I am thinking that the approval process would be shorter. The more information that is required from you to complete the application process, the longer it's going to take. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Kyra, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. You're welcome. Wants to know, what is the minimum age for a borrower? The minimum age for a borrower. Well, to begin with, we're not giving loans. It's not a loan. It's a grant. So it's not a borrower. It's not something that you're borrowing and have to pay back. It's a grant. So do you own a business? Have you registered your business? That's the minimum age.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is no minimum age per se. It's based on the registration documentation of the organizations, which of course must be 100% Trinidad owned. All right. Stanley says Steelpan supporter, not exporter. Stanley, Steelpan supporters are exporters, because once you support it, anybody you come into contact with is going to understand what is being sold, and it could be a local or it could be a foreigner. And if it's a foreigner and you supporting PAN and they catch on to your excitement and they understand what you're supporting, who knows? They may want to buy it, and guess what? We just exported PAN. All right, Kyra, current PAN Jumbie in upper sixth form. Again, Kyra, it's about business. This is about business. This is about understanding that your passion and your hobby can be monetized. And in order to monetize it, you need to follow the process. And there is a process involved. I'm not sure if NEDCO is a part of this whole week, but NEDCO offers business development training, business development support, business development loans. And upper sixth form is a fantastic time to be, because you're just on the cusp of coming out of academic learning and going into business, and understanding that a lot of what you learned in the books, it don't apply in the real world. In the real world is a little different. The experiences are different. You then get to understand what you read and wrote and learned in that book, how to put it into practice. So I think that it's never too early to start the process. You have a business idea, you have something that you want to use PAN to expand whatever it is you're doing. Now is the time. You go onto the Office of the Attorney General's website, because they're taking applications now online, and you have to make an appointment in order to go in and register your business. So you go onto the Office of the Attorney General's website and you download the information, download their application forms, and start your business, register your business and start it. And you do that from now. By the time you get to be 20, 21 and you're in university, you already have your business running. And you were able from now to put things in place in terms of your financials and your business plan and your strategy, so that by the time, like I say, you reach 20, 21, you can access all of these grants that are available. All right. All right. E&J interested in Steelpan Export. That is wonderful. And E&J, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you do that. Now, the thing about it is, Steelpan Export and Tanika would have spoken on training. And we think we can just, okay, I want to export Steelpan. There are a lot of things to put in place before we get to that point. We think we know everything, and some of us do. Some of us, you guys, you know a lot, I am sure, because you're in the business, so you know a lot. But there are some of the not so much technical skills, but the softer skills that you need to understand. So, like for example, if you meet in with a buyer and you need to convince your buyer why they must buy pan from you and not buy pan from China, you don't have 2 days to do that. A lot of the times you have 20 minutes, 25 for the most. So you have to understand how to get them to be excited about what you're selling in 20 minutes. And not just excited about what you're selling, but giving them the relevant information that they need to make a decision. And that's what, listen to me, when Melissa and I sit down and we put together, Melissa, you're there, right? And you're hearing me, I'm thinking. When we sit down and we put together a project, because Jonathan is here, Tanika is here, and we're going to work together as a team to put a project together to build a mission. We need to start, we need to be serious. We need to be serious about what we're doing and where we're going. So we need to sit down, and not just us, but you guys as well. You guys who are in the business, who understand the issues and challenges that you're facing, right? Because I am sitting here behind a desk, and as far as I am concerned, it must be easy to make a pan and sell it. But I don't think it is it? But you have to tell us what you need, right? You have to tell us what is required, because this pan grant that Jonathan was talking about now, that didn't always exist, right? That was put into place in January 2020. You know why? Because there was people talked about it. People talked about what was needed and what was required. And this is where I'll put a plug now for our minister, the Senator, the Honorable Paula Gopee, School Minister of Trade and Industry. She has proven herself to be so receptive to the needs of the entrepreneurs, of small and medium-sized enterprises, because a lot of what we offer now and what is in place is because people have articulated their challenges, and she has responded. She has responded through ExporTT, and we are so honored to be working with her and to be partnering with the Ministry of Trade to ensure that word diversification is not just a word, but an actual action that we are taking together to move our country forward. So I think I will talk plenty, but just so you know, I'm really good at that. Tanika is laughing at me here. But I don't know if there are any more questions that you all want to ask. Like I said, we need to get these conversations going. And trust me, I understand that these conversations have happened before. I know we're not inventing the wheel, but we're not reinventing the wheel either. Okay, we're moving forward. What has happened, and we need to move forward now with what we have and to take it to the next level. All right. So we're at the end of our presentation now. That's my contact information. You can contact me, and any questions you have for Jonathan or for Tanika, We'd be happy to pass the questions on, or you can contact MusicTT as well. I see Leslie Ann from Film TT is also on. And just a final plug. You know, I was talking about our stories and how many stories we have and marketing. You know, our film industry is a fantastic vehicle to take our stories forward. We can incorporate pan, we can incorporate music, we can incorporate fashion, we can incorporate our local culture in everything that we film and everything that we do. And by the way, we have some fantastic filmmakers. I was on a set a couple of weeks ago and I was blown away. We are super talented. We have extremely talented creatives in our midst. And it's just a matter of taking that creativity and ensuring that we make it into a business so that we all can benefit as a country. So that being said, Jonathan, you want to say anything? Yes, he's here and he's now wondering, why am I calling on him?
I would just like to say that at ExporTT, we're here to help, as Mr. Redman would have said. The capacity building unit and myself always available. You can believe my information would be shared
Yes,
with all the